So I thought I'd record a video about the accomplice productivity philosophy. And I was also thinking about the shirt that I'm wearing right now, which says there's never a million things you need to do. It's either zero, or it's either one or zero. And I'm reflecting that there's something that has in common with the accomplice productivity philosophy. And I was also feeling into, like, maybe the accomplice productivity philosophy should have a name distinct from the piece of software that is the accomplice app. And thinking about getting things done, right, which is one system. And I was thinking maybe the name for the accomplice productivity philosophy, well, so like one piece of it would be something like what now is like, there's a philosophy and then there's the workflow. There's kind of like a few different things. I tried to map some of this out a few years ago. And a philosophy and a workflow are different, right? Because you could have one kind of overarching philosophy that would still generate different workflows in different situations. And there are different workflows that you can use within Accomplice. So yeah, you kind of need a philosophy and a workflow separately. What now is sort of the right name for half of the Accomplice productivity philosophy. But the other half is like, what now in light of everything? Which is kind of the only question, actually. Given everything I care about, given everything that's so, given everything that I want, given everything that I know, what do I do now? That's kind of the only question. And there's something really important, as this shirt gestures at, about being able to set aside the idea that there's a million things you're supposed to do. There may be more things that you will need to do in the future, but in some sense right now there's only one thing to do, which is whatever you're doing, or there's nothing to do. There's just waiting, chilling, sitting around, feeling into the what now until it becomes clear what there is to do. And I found this to be a really powerful move to be able to make, of kind of resting, essentially resting just for a moment, just to say, okay, there's nothing, assume for a moment that nothing needs my attention right now. Where does my attention want to go? And I might realize, oh, actually there's an important thing I need to get to. Let me go do that. Or I might notice, oh, actually, I'm not sure if my phone is on and I need my phone on because I'm expecting a call. So you turn your phone on, but then with the phone, with the ringer on or whatever, you can then rest again, because until that call comes in, you can, attend to whatever it is that you need, as long as you trust that you'll be notified when you need to attend to something. I'm really all over the place with this video, but this is sort of a scattered collection of thoughts, all of which I want to expand on a bunch. The what now given everything philosophy. I've been also tracking, just while I'm rambling, let me ramble about more stuff. One thing I've been coming up with is this idea of, what nowing as a kind of basic move that you can do on your own, which I call solo what now. This is often best practiced with a journal, but it can also totally be practiced with just going for a walk. I was just playing some Factorio with some friends, and I was like, you know what, I want to take a break from playing, I'm going to go for a walk. And so I went for a walk, and then while I was walking, I was like, oh, there's a swinging chair here. I'm going to sit in the swinging chair, and I'm going to record a video. And I was like feeling into what the video might be about. And so there's just this like feeling into kind of process. And so that's solo what now. And then what now is when you what now with other people, when you sit together and what's on our minds, what's on our hearts, what needs to be done, if we're a team, or just if we're people living together, what needs to be done, whether it's together around the house or just what are each of us wanting to do right now, maybe separately, but having the chance to sort of feel into that together and get on the same page. And I have a blog post about the what now thing, which I'll link in the thing, or remind me if I forget. So there's something about the kind of like solo what now process that I think the Accomplice app could actually be even better at supporting people through, kind of asking these basic questions like, is there anything you need to do right now, like sort of urgently, that has to happen kind of immediately? Is there anything on your mind you're worried you'll forget? I mean, that's kind of part of the GTD question, but a lot of things, like, we're sort of worried we'll forget them, but like actually they will come back. They, they're around. You'll be reminded of them before, like, again, before that actually needs to happen. So you don't need to necessarily like make a point of putting it on some list somewhere. So yeah, that's a collection of thoughts, reflecting on just kind of a basic move of resting, feeling into what needs to happen, and the resting is kind of the zero things to do, mode of the t-shirt. Just screen off. And it's hard to access that screen off space when you've got your screen on. I'm particularly, a computer screen with 50 open browser tabs. It's like there's a whole onslaught of potential things to do. And I've tried more and more to, whenever possible, just close out all my browser tabs and kind of start fresh. And that can be really, refreshing, like really nice to just have, the only thing open be the thing that I'm doing. And maybe a couple of tabs that are just kind of like reference, like my Roam or my, Accomplice page that have like what I'm doing that day, or have some notes that I'm taking, but not have like, 3 Amazon tabs open with something I maybe thinking about buying, some search results, and then, some tabs open from like, I'm going to purchase some travel insurance, and which thing am I going to do? And then I've got like, it's just like all these different, okay, this article I want to read and this tweet I want to reply to, you just end up with all of these things open. And what's striking, I found, is that like when I do my days off, I take a whole day off once a week, ideally. And my two rules for that are start the day with no open browser tabs, and start the day with nothing on my calendar. And ideally spend the day kind of similarly with nothing planned for the rest of the day. And when I do my days off, in order to start the day with no browser tabs, I gotta close them all out. And sometimes I just do that and just let them go. Other times I'm like, I wanna deal with all this stuff. And it only takes like 20 minutes if I'm strictly only getting rid of tabs and not opening new ones. It often only takes like 20 minutes to go through 20 tabs that I have open and deal with most of them, take 2 minutes to reply to that tweet. So it's something I almost wish I were doing more like every day rather than every week, but it does take longer to go to bed if I'm trying to clear out all my browser tabs before I do. So it's kind of a trade-off. I want better browser systems for being able to switch modes between having a lot of stuff open versus not. I want the ability from my phone to queue up my computer so that when I get back to my computer, it's a clean slate except for the one thing that I want to work on, so that I can go for a walk, get clear what I want to work on, set my computer up to already meet me with that, and then do that. You could totally do that with a browser extension. It'd be a little complex. I mean, where does it store all of the other open tabs? There's an extension called Tabs Outliner that's pretty good at archiving like old browser windows and then being able to restore them again. So it could be kind of an extension on that extension. But anyway, there's a collection of thoughts on doing one thing and being in touch with what you're doing now. I guess one thing I like to do is, or one question to kind of leave you with is something like, at any given moment, I think it's ideal that in some sense you either have a clear answer to what am I doing right now? What am I doing right now? I'm recording a video. What was I doing an hour ago? I was playing Factorio. Or you have a pretty firm answer, which is I'm not doing anything in particular. And that actually feels restful. That the I'm not doing anything in particular is not like, I'm kind of doing a bunch of things, but it's like, no, I'm actually just chilling. I'm out for a walk. I'm just sitting on a couch, kind of staring at the wall and just kind of like feeling into, what do I want to do now? And I think it's often, not always, sometimes it's fun to just be scattered and jumping between a whole bunch of tweets and multitasking, and then, trying to log into my bank to do a little transaction, but I'm jumping to a tweet while the bank page loads, and I'm just kind of all over the place. Sometimes that can be a fun state to be in, but I've been trying to be in that state a bit less. And, so that's a question. It's like, at any given moment, do you know what it is that you're doing? Are you doing something? It doesn't even need to be the best something or a particularly meaningful something, but do you know what you're doing? Or are you just kind of a bunch of sort of stuff? Take care.